Hey folks, look at my little bookie here. We got Aaron's and we got Randy's. This is a X-Torque 372 that got turned into a 52 millimeter highway build. Non-X-Torque, of course. And this is a 371 XP that kept the same piston and rings, kept the same cylinder and everything. We just ported it. And here were the numbers for, so this is Randy's video. We already had Aaron's video. So numbers stock 72, 105, and 127. I don't know why I did that. The ports aren't staggered. Maybe that was, I was just writing. That's terrible. I hate that I did that, because they were 127. Anyways, maybe they were 127 on one side and 124 on the other. I don't know. But the squish without a base gasket was at 22 to 24 thousandths, right? And so here's what I came up with. So the squish was good. I just left it there. We'll run this thing without a base gasket. The intake now opens at 80 degrees. The exhaust, actually, I was shooting for 103 again, just like Aaron's number. But unless you guys do this, you cannot criticize anybody for not hitting their number, because it's organic whenever you're doing this stuff. You're going with the flow and everything. And I would say that you cannot port two cylinders the same way, even if you're the same person. You just can't do it, and I'll show you here in a second. All right, so the transfers they open about 121, 122. All right, and I'm happy with that and giving it a shot and seeing how it goes. But polished up the exhaust real nice. That little trick of using the Scotch-Brite pads and WD-40 really works nice. It's really nice and smooth. Widened it quite a bit, but the roof was, the roof was right there at the it was at 105. And so I barely took anything out of it. I barely took anything, and it dropped all the way to 100. Like, what the hell? But anyways, over here, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You can't port things the same exact way. See those like channels that I created in this one? I did not do this to Aaron's, because this just came about. It just happened. It just happened. That's it. You know, you can really see them there. And so we'll see how this works. Of course, I widened up the intake, dropped the floor a lot, because it was only at 72.4. So I went all the way from that to 80 degrees, which that's the same as Aaron's number. The intake opening at 80 degrees there. The only thing that's different on these two saws, other than, you know, they're different cylinders, and I got these ridges in here now on this one, is the exhaust. Aaron's is at 103, which should give him more compression. And Randy's here, this one is at 100 on the exhaust. And I'm certain it'll run great, but just pointing out, you just can't do them the same. Even the same porter, man. I mean, some of you guys out there, there's a lot of people way better at this than I am. But, you know, you might be able to consistently be perfect on your numbers and stuff, but it's just such an organic process when you're grinding. It seems impossible to me to keep everything perfect and even, because it's like water. It just flows. You know, the transfer ports are the same on both. We were looking at 12.8 milliliters on each side. So we're good. Stock was 11. I went up to 12.8 milliliters of volume in the transfer ports. Cut the heck out of that cylinder skirt there. There's no point in that. That just gets in the way. And yeah, I think that it's good. I think we're gonna see a nice little gains with this cylinder. Damn! When that thing gets in its zone, shit, man, it's pulling hard. Man, it's pulling hard. Let's get a different angle on it. Different angle of the dangle. There we go. Goodness gracious. Let's get through it. Out of gas again. Whew. That's why it kept stumbling and acting like it was wanting to, you know, didn't have no torque. Running out of gas. Yeah, out of gas. Boy, she screams though. My gosh. That is a screaming saw. Through the wood like just crazy. I tuned it to 13.6, 13.5, 13.6. That higher exhaust roof really making it come alive. really make, it's like, it just wants to rev like crazy. But I don't know if it's gonna, how bad it's gonna hurt it on torque and stuff. Got to run it hand in hand with something else. But as it is, I think that Randy will be really happy because it's a screamer. I mean, it's freaking, well, you heard it. God, that thing is just like wanting to just rev to the moon. It screams. And that's cool. That's really cool. But as close as I tried to keep them, you can't do it. I tried to build them identical, but that 3 degrees of difference, 3 degrees or so of difference on that exhaust roof will definitely make for 2 different running, feeling saws, I think. But you know, we got the 52 millimeter build. That thing has to break in. You know, this thing's already broken in. You know, this thing's ready to go. It just got a port drop. But the 52 millimeter, it's brand new piston, brand new rings, brand new cylinder, and that's going to have to break in before we get a feeling of what it'll do. But this thing is running pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. So I'll holler at Randy, see if he'll let me keep it an extra week so that I can actually do a whack off with it, and maybe some other testing and stuff like that, and get that man his saw. Both of those men, their saws. But it's been fun building them, and I hope we can all learn something together. And I think the way that I'm going to edit this video right here is, now you're going to hear me get on a rant about we just all need to get along. To prove my point, what I'm talking about with porters doing it different ways and then bickering with each other about, no, that shouldn't be done or whatever. Currently on my little radio over there, I just stopped it. I'm listening to It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll by AC/DC. That's a rock and roll song with an accordion in it. No, not an accordion. Bagpipes. Fucking bagpipes. Do you think that the rock and roll bands out there are going, you can't have bagpipes in a rock and roll song? That's not rock and roll then. It becomes something else. And AC/DC's like, yeah, is that right, bitch? Because I'm going to do a really, really, really awesome kick-ass song, and I'm going to put bagpipes in it. That's what I'm talking about. It's more than one way to skin a cat, and that's okay. Don't bicker back and forth with each other. My God. Don't bicker back and forth with each other. And again, don't take this the wrong way. Nobody's bickering with me. You know, there's some people that have posted a few shitty comments, and, you know, whenever it's actually shitty, I just delete them. My favorites are the ones whenever it's somebody that's like, man of God, and he leaves a comment that's like, you're an idiot. Like, man of God? I love the judgmental Christians. They really make me laugh. So my lens was a little wonky there, so I don't know how this video is going to get cut up. But you guys know that I haven't been doing this for 20 years. You know, I am pretty new to it, but I'm getting darn good results. I mean, really good results, I think. And I'm going to attribute that largely to being open-minded and listening to what other people say, you know? Builders that have been doing this longer than me, which that's all of you, pretty much. And different styles. So I get a lot of cues from Dono Joe, Charlie Briscoe. Aaron Lynch has been very helpful. Tim out of Iowa, Performance Saws, Tim Bauer, very helpful. Cajun, speak with him every now and then, and he's got a lot of knowledge. It and I am trying to take all of that stuff, and of course, there's videos I watch. Of course, I watch the same stuff that everybody watches. Watch Tin Man and Donnie Walker. Donnie Walker doesn't say a lot of stuff though. He just kind of goes, "Yeah, I do this," and shows you. Doesn't really give numbers usually. Iron Horse, Bellhopper. But I also try and venture into different lesser known stuff too. Like Brennan Cass. Now he's doing some awesome stuff. He doesn't have a whole lot of content and things, but he's doing some cool stuff. My point is there is no right and there is no wrong. There's this happened and that happened. And what I see so often is two people with vastly different styles. I mean, one person will say, whatever, you name it, run the floor of the intake as low as possible. Another person will be like, be conservative with that, and make it up in volume. And the other person was like, volume is the devil. You need to keep up your velocity. And then I have my own personal knowledge that, I'm not a pro that has been doing this for years and years, but I've studied two-stroke porting techniques for 25 years now, 20, something like that. Early 2000s, like 2001 is whenever I started. And I've been fascinated about it. So I have a good bit of knowledge too. I just don't have the working practice. But you guys are all helping, and you're. And I don't want to even say this, but I wish more people could be like me. And that is, it's not a competition. Sure, certain places get competitive, and you want to try and be the best. Otherwise, you're a stale turd and get out of here. But the reality is, this is just fun. Nobody needs one of these ported saws, even you pros. You're doing it because you like it. You like it, and that's it. And so let's not get competitive with each other. Do so on a friendly basis. Nothing wrong with friendly competition. Friendly competition is what drives innovation. It's wonderful, okay? Competition is good. But it's shocking to me how much piddly ass bitch comments that happen. We are manly men. And if there's a more manly hobby than chainsaws and lumberjacking, I've never heard of it. But yet so many people get caught up in, boo, this got said and I'm offended by it. Woohoo. And then somebody else is like, oh, and snowflake. Oh, I hate it whenever people use that word because, serious, I am the kind of guy that gets violent. But online, you have the safety and security of me not even knowing who you are, really. So, and nobody's really saying anything. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm just going, I know that there's a lot of feuds. What's the point? If we all met each other in person, we'd get along like peas and carrots, We're all into the same thing and we all like it. And so the idea that this person's going to, compression's a big thing that a lot of people, man, they just got a hard on for it, I mean, some people, it's like, you can't build power without compression. Right? Other people are like, compression ruins your bottom end. Compression ruins your bottom end. I've seen so many saws that have bad bearings. And it's like, really? How many? Oh, you know, I saw this one. And it's like, what? You know, I don't. So regardless of whatever is going on with your style and how you build a saw, it's your style, dude. It's your style. Hey, man, when having sex, I like to stroke it a certain way to my old lady, and that's my thing, right? Does that mean that it ain't as enjoyable as some dude over here that says, whenever I'm having sex, I like to stroke it a certain way to my old man? Does that mean he doesn't enjoy it as much as I do? It's potato. And this community is a really cool one. It's a really good one. But there gets to be a lot of people that bitch, man. I mean, just shut up. And half the time, it ain't even builders. Half the time, it's people that just gather up the knowledge because they're interested, you know, and so they have these ideas in their head because they heard this person say it, you know, and then somebody over here is like, I like to do this, and then this person that has no experience whatsoever chimes in and goes, no, you can't do it that way. That you'll lose all your torque. And what us creators, us YouTube creators, have to keep in mind is that people largely just want to make comments and be part of the discussion. And there's nothing wrong with that. So we can't get hurt and offended whenever somebody says something that goes against the way that we think that it is. You know, like Charlie did a wonderful video on, you know, how to get power from saws and stuff. He covered a lot of stuff, cutting the pistons and all kinds of different stuff. That's great. And I loved it. I loved it. But I can't just take that knowledge and then turn around and share it to the world as if it's my own and act like I know that it's real because I've done it. Because I haven't, you know, I haven't set my port timing by cutting my piston crown. You know, I haven't done that. And so I'm not going to say that's bullshit idea. And I'm not also going to champion the idea, but I will say that makes sense to me. You know, but I don't know what I'm even getting at. I just want us all to get along. Like whenever I did that video on why it's difficult to turbocharge a two-stroke, somebody got their panties in a wad, thought I was saying that they were an idiot, and I think more than anything, he wanted just to stir drama because this fucking chainsaw shit is like a damn soap opera to some people. They just feed off the drama. And it's like, oh, shut up with your fucking drama. I'm porting chainsaws. And guess what? They're kicking ass. And I love it. My customers are loving it. It's great. It's awesome. We're having fun. Is my way better than yours? I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care. But I'm enjoying learning this stuff. I'm getting real results. And it's just enjoyable. I would hate it. I would hate it if people came to my channel, and they don't. Like I said, I'm on this rant for a different thing. And because of not understanding the inflection that is given when somebody writes something, then one person gets hurt by it or something. It's like stupid. It's like me saying, shut up, dummy. Shut up, dummy. Versus me saying, oh, shut up, dummy. You can't write that in a text message or a comment online. You can't write humor. It's extremely difficult to write humor. I'm going to put it that way. And so what was meant as possibly, I have no idea of anything. And you guys can guess all you want of who I'm talking about. You ain't going to know. So, but what could have been meant as, shut up, dummy. Man, I love this guy. I love the way that happens. Could have been taken as, shut up, dummy. You're an idiot. And so, as commenters, understand that us creators cannot fully realize the intent of the words you write. We can't do it. And us creators, we need to realize that what you're saying doesn't always match up with what we are reading. You know? Because all of this stuff is a fun hobby. Fun hobby. But all it takes is just a little bit over this side, and this person doesn't understand it, and then us manly men who are into chainsaws and hot rodding them and cutting down trees and swinging axes become a bunch of little bitches. Yeah, so yeah, I'll probably won't even post this video.